and welcome to the first broadcast of PNN at College. I know this may be weird because isn't that the same background you always have? Well, yes, I am at home this weekend to deal with some paperwork and other items. But I thought I would make this video since it's been about 2 weeks since I've started college, a week since classes have started. And I thought I'd give you a quick update/summary of what going to college is like in COVID-19. Well, obviously, you have the basics. Everyone has to wear a mask in public spaces. Classrooms are social distancing. You have to social distance while in line for food. And what else? Hand sanitizer. Hand sanitizer is spread out everywhere. Use it all the time. Wash your hands frequently. A lot of online virtual classes. Some that were even listed as in-person going online. That's a bit of a pet peeve of mine, but what can you do? And so yeah, that is a quick summary of what conditions at college are like. Now for the specifics at my particular institution, which if you follow the PNN at College Instagram, you know was Siena College. You have to wear a mask at all times when you're in public spaces, unless you are outside and can social distance at, or I think, 10 feet or more. And also conducting physical exercise, like running, for instance, because it's very hard to run in a mask. I have tried it. It is not fun. You only can have your mask off when you're in your dorm room alone with your roommate. If you're limited to 2 people per dorm or house, if you're one of the upperclassmen. And so yeah, that's a quick summary of the policies. Eating. Well, eating has become quite interesting. You see, since the dining halls have to social distance, just like everyone else, the tables are more spaced out and they have to be sanitized between each person eating. So when a person sits down, they have to flip over a green sign saying this table is ready to a red sign saying this table is not ready. They eat their meal, then they stand up, leave, and then someone has to come over and clean it. It's more assembly line cafeteria style, and very little self-serve. Almost all of it is served to you by the kitchen staff. A lot of it's to go, since there's limited room in the dining hall, so you either take it back to your dorm room to eat, or you go to one of the tents that they have set up outside as sort of an impromptu cafeteria. In those cases, you have to sanitize the tables yourselves. Food is alright, typical cafeteria fare. Like I said, not much self-serve. What little self-serve there is all in pre-packaged, sealed containers, so that you can't contaminate the underlying food product. And so eating, no metal cutlery. I never thought I would miss metal cutlery, but I have, because all you have is plastic. And if you're eating some sort of meat or tough vegetable, you would definitely want a metal fork or knife. Cutting it with plastic is not fun and is quite time consuming. I was having ribs, and I know many people eat ribs just with your hands, but I'm one of the few that use utensils, and trying to eat ribs with plastic cutlery was certainly an interesting experience. I had to spend probably a good 5-10 minutes just cutting the meat off the bone with the puny plastic knife that they arm you with in the standard plastic cutlery. I'm sure you know from school, little plastic bag, fork, knife, spoon, pepper, salt, and a napkin. None of which is adequate, to say the least, for their particular role, but it is supposedly more sanitary. And then classes. So this semester I am taking history, philosophy, sociology, community development, military science, and then of course first year seminar. Now, thankfully, I have at least half my classes in person, which I feel for upperclassmen who don't have the luxury of that. Many of them came back to campus to find out that many of their classes were online, or what they call asynchronous, which means basically it's like an online course, but the teacher doesn't hold regular meetings. You follow at your own pace. In addition to that, I also have most of my classes inside, like in a designated building. Mind you, the hall it's in is halfway across campus from where my dorm is, but it's a lot better than being stuck out in one of the classroom tents. They have those set up, and it is interesting, and in nice weather it's nice, but I wouldn't want to have a class in those tents come middle to end of October, because we're in, the great Northeast. It can snow as early as October 15th, and it can get quite cold, especially early in the morning or late in the evening. So I do not envy any of those in the slightest. What else? Met my roommate. He's a pretty good guy. Made some friends through the Bonners program. It is kind of strange, and it's kind of hard to meet and converse with your fellow classmates, because if you're online, most of the time you won't be directly conversing with your classmates unless you're sitting on a Zoom call for a discussion of some sort. And for those in person, you're all wearing masks and social distance 6 feet apart, which can really kill the socialization factor. It does feel weird. It was initially weird when I came on campus, because I was on campus 3 or 4 days before the rest of the people started moving in. So it was very quiet and eerie, so to speak, because there wasn't a lot of people on campus, obviously. But as people came back, life started to pick up a little, still COVID, social distancing, all that. But once classes started, it got that sort of eerie again, because most people were staying shut up in their dorms and houses because they don't have many in-person classes, so the traffic is very light walking back and forth. And I realize this is by design. It's supposed to be decongestive, so that there's less people at risk and in contact with one another over a shorter period of time. But it feels weird. And I don't think the feeling of it settling into college yet has really settled in. It is still very strange. It's only been 2 weeks, so I'm sure I'll settle into that sort of routine. As for homework and assignments, they've been pretty straightforward. A lot of reading, a lot of taking notes, a lot of discussion. So it really hasn't been anything overly strenuous, to say the least. ROTC, I picked up my ROTC equipment, got registered with the unit and all that, so I am now officially a member of the Sienna Mohawk Battalion, which is fun, and I'm looking forward to it. What else? I think that's about it for the past 2 weeks summary. If you guys have questions about what it's like to go to college during COVID, leave a comment in the comment section below, and I will make sure to answer it for you. Or maybe I'll put it into the next week's video and include it there. So I think that rounds up our first of the COVID journals, just a quick summary. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to be making more content in this channel, although again, like PNN and Cold War Tech, it'll be very up in the air and fluctuating, because classes, class assignments, COVID, all that is added an unpredictability to college life, which makes it difficult for me to guarantee you when I will be getting content up. I hope to make at least 1 video a week for this channel, 1 video a month for Cold War Tech, and then 2 or 3 videos a week for the regular PNN broadcast. But, as I said, a lot of it's still up in the air. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and this is the PNN at College, signing off.